Welcome to my new channel, brand new, starting from scratch. If you're new here, my name is Erika Vieira. I'm a YouTube strategist, channel producer, and coach. I've spent almost 10 years working behind the scenes with thousands of women, business owners, entrepreneurs, and creatives on their YouTube channels. And in this video, I am breaking down exactly why I made this specific decision. I'm getting into the weeds here, and I'm sharing insights about my other channel that I haven't really talked about publicly before. At the end of this, you'll understand why I think in my own case, launching a brand new channel on YouTube is the right move. And you'll also learn what you can expect from this channel moving forward. Ladies, class is in session. It's crazy to think that for almost 10 years, I have worked behind the scenes of almost 2,500 YouTube channels. I have coached women, I have produced them, I've strategized for them, and my specialty is women, female business owners, entrepreneurs, creatives who all want to use YouTube to scale their income, impact, and influence. They all believe in YouTube. They all love YouTube like I do. I'm here with all of that experience. I do YouTube all day, every day, literally 24/7. That's all I do. And so why am I doing this? I have another channel, which is my main podcast channel. That is where the interviews that I featured on my podcast, the YouTube Power Hour, live now. To give you a little bit of history, that channel has been through a lot of different phases. While the main purpose of that channel was to house my podcasts where I interview YouTubers, I was also trying other different types of videos on there. I've done YouTube advice videos, I've done creator analysis type videos. I had taken almost 2 years off from creating any kind of content. That's because I had my third baby. Something had to go, and that was my YouTube content. Here's the thing. YouTube, as you know, it takes commitment. You gotta be all in to really do YouTube right. And when I made that decision, I was doing the YouTube channel. I always believe in YouTube. I think it's an incredible asset for anybody, especially people that have some kind of business. But I was really busy. My client list was full. My YouTube bootcamp was thriving. People who hire me, they tend to stick with me very long term, which I absolutely love. I love working with people long term. But I was really maxed out, and I needed to really focus on what was actually right there in front of me, bringing me an income while I had my newborn. So as much as I love doing the YouTube content and the interviews and the podcast, that choice was there. I stepped away for 2 years, and then I didn't really upload anything. I think I uploaded a couple videos, but really there wasn't a level of commitment there. So last year, December of 2024, I was itching to get back onto YouTube. I wanted to come back. I wanted to create content again, and I wanted to share more of what I've learned over the years of working directly with so many YouTube creators. I love doing interviews, but the thing is, I'm showcasing my guests. I'm not talking about myself. I'm not talking about the work that I'm doing. I'm not talking about all the findings I have and everything that I know about when it comes to YouTube. I wanted to come back and share that part of me, in addition to doing the podcast and in addition to experimenting and trying and figuring out what is going to be my groove on YouTube. Because I personally never prioritize a YouTube channel. While I am a YouTube coach, YouTube strategist working with YouTube creators, my own YouTube was always on the back burner, always. Even before I took that 2-year break, it was always something that I had there. I would upload my podcast. Uploading a podcast onto YouTube, generally, I do not recommend it. But for me, it worked because I was talking to YouTubers on YouTube. So it worked. But it was never something that I really put my focus on because I've always been very busy doing what I do, which is working with YouTube creators. And so much of what I do is behind the scenes. And so I made that decision, hey, I'm gonna go onto YouTube. And you know what? Now is the time. At the time the baby was almost 2, I'm really gonna put my energy to YouTube. This is my first time actually doing that. I actually created a whole video about that. So if you wanna check that out, you can see where my head was at exactly a year ago. And I was really, really excited about it. And so I did. I uploaded at least twice a week. That's what I was committed to. Some weeks, there's a period of time that I actually said, you know what, I'm gonna go even more all in and upload 3 times a week. I wanted to just figure it out for myself. Like, what do I enjoy doing? And so much of YouTube success and being successful on YouTube is, what do you wanna be doing? Whatever you're doing on YouTube, you need to love it because it's a commitment and you wanna be able to do it long term. To see true success on YouTube, you have to do it long term. And in order to do it long term, you have to really enjoy it. So part of me was like, what do I wanna be doing? Yes, I wanna be serving people. I want to be helping people. That's a big reason why I have this channel. But what do I get excited about? There's a period of time where I'm like, I don't know if the podcast really fits anymore, if I'm going to be talking more to the camera and talking about YouTube advice. I feel like that's a different thing. So then I thought, well, maybe I stopped doing the podcast. And it was a period of time I didn't upload any interviews. And then I'm like, well, but I really like doing these interviews. I genuinely enjoy them. It's really fun for me. And then I experimented with these creator analysis videos, which were actually seeing a lot of success on my channel and getting a lot of views, but it was so much work. It was work that if this is all I did, great, because I enjoyed it. I felt like I was really good at it. I brought my communications journalism from college. I was actually the editor of my college newspaper for a little bit. And then also I studied communications and journalism. I thought I wanted to be a journalist. So it was fun for me to be able to bring that journalism back and work on these videos. But it took a lot of time. A lot of time that I did not have, right? I'm like, okay, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. As much as I like it, it just doesn't, it's not sustainable for me. So I tried to experiment with a bunch of different things. And because I wanted to see what would happen if I actually prioritized my channel for once. It took me a full year to figure out, what do I want to do? And in that process, I realized I want to do the podcast, but I also enjoy talking to you. And I do feel like people that are not in my own circle, like my clients, like my boot campers, people that know me, unless you're in that circle, you don't really know me. And I have expanded a little bit on my YouTube channel by doing more talking head videos, and I even did some vlogs, and I enjoyed it. But for the most part, as long as I've been a public figure, which I use that term loosely but this is public facing, so much of my focus has been on really propping up my guests on my podcast, my own clients, the people I work with, and not really me. There is a part of me that, while as much as I enjoy being behind the scenes and behind the camera, I want to be in front of the camera. I'm an extrovert. I'm a Leo rising. Like, I want to be in front of the camera. I've always wanted to be in front of the camera. I just fell into this niche of working with creators because a few things. The time that I did this and launched this, there wasn't really anybody that was solely focusing on women YouTube creators and audiences and helping them grow. So their demand was there. I also happen, not to toot my own horn, but yeah, I'm really good at this. I am good at this. I am good at helping people grow and helping them figure out what they need to be doing on YouTube, pulling that special something out of them that makes them magical, that makes them exciting and engaging. I love strategizing. I really do. I love helping women make money. I love that. And so I'm good at it. I enjoy it. And the need was there. When I started my business back in 2018, I literally had a 3-month-old and not even a 2-year-old. So I couldn't just sit there and be like, well, I'm going to just upload a bunch of content and figure it out. No, that is what was working. And when I launched my bootcamp and I sold it out and I launched it again and I made 6 figures on my second launch and I was doing all these things, I was like, oh, this is it. This is exciting. Like, this is what I want to be doing. And it's true. It's still what I want to be doing. Instead of going the route of, okay, now I'm going to create a bunch of content and put myself out there more, I went deeper into really helping the women that needed me. Because of word of mouth and my amazing bootcamp members and clients telling people about me, I did not necessarily need to have content to bring in business because so much of it was word of mouth. You want to go where the money flows. And in that moment, that's what was happening. And that's actually still what's happening right now. But I'm at a point in my business and in my life where I want to be more front facing. I want to build my personal brand more. I don't want to be the best kept secret anymore. I want people to know who I am. I want opportunities. I love traveling to speak and I love speaking engagement. I have started doing that and I really, really enjoy it and I want to do it more. And one of the best things you can do and one of the biggest assets that you can create for yourself is a strong personal brand, especially with this age of AI as well. That is what drove me to want to get back into YouTube a year ago. And it has worked. It's been great for my business. A lot of you have found me through a lot of those videos that I've done. I know because I get people telling me all the time, oh, I found your channel or discovered you on YouTube, or somebody told me about you, but then I binged all your content on YouTube and I really like your approach. And that is one of the big purposes of having content on YouTube. For those of you like myself that have a business, a product or service, YouTube is the best top of funnel opportunity. You can do it through Instagram, you can do it through through ads, but I think YouTube is the best. And it has been proven to me time and time again with the people I work with the conversations I have, with the groups that I'm a part of, that YouTube truly is the best top of funnel if you have any kind of business or service. That's a huge benefit of having a YouTube channel. And that's another reason why I want to continue doing it. The other aspect is building out your personal brand. And I think for me, that is more of my bigger driver, is that personal brand, is I want to build that more. I want people to know more of who I am. I wasn't hiding behind my clients and my testimonials and the guests on my podcast. I was never hiding behind that. I never have a fear of being in front of the camera. That's just kind of what happened. It really was just like bandwidth, and that was the time that I had to do. And I will be honest, doing interviews is significantly easier than doing these talking head videos, in my opinion. It's just easier. I have my assistant, we have it dialed in, we get guests, we do the interview, and my whole team works on it. Whereas with these talking head videos, I'm a little bit more involved, so it does take more of my time. At this point in my life, I want both. I love the behind the scenes strategy, and I love working with my clients. I love doing that because I think partly because I am an extrovert, I crave that human interaction. I don't think I could ever only do YouTube content because I very much love the interaction of people. And I love strategizing about YouTube. Like, I love it. I love the analytics. I love that. But I also like being in front of the camera, and I want to build my personal brand. So I want both. So then last year I committed to YouTube. I created a ton of content. I learned a lot. I learned a lot about myself, my niche, what I love doing, what I don't. And through all of that, I came to the big realization where we're at right now is that I need to split my content into 2 separate channels. And I'm going to tell you why. Here's what I figured out. Since the beginning, my channel has been doing a whole bunch of different things. I started with podcast interviews. And so here's the thing about doing interviews on your own channel, especially in my niche. This isn't the same for other people's niches, but this is what was the case for my niche, is that it attracts people who are interested in the person that you're interviewing, not necessarily you or that content that you're talking about. Through these interviews, and this is actually what has fueled my business and has done really well, but I've attracted some ideal fans. But not everybody who subscribes to that channel is there to learn and grow on YouTube. And a lot of them are there because they enjoyed, say, one of the people that I interviewed. And I could see that in the analytics. When I would have an interview do well, it would be like, oh, here's what your other people are watching. And it's like all of that creator's content. I would not see people watching YouTube advice content. My channel over time, it became a mix of people based off of the people I've interviewed. And then doing the creator analysis videos where I had thought, well, I'm talking about YouTube. I'm talking about growing a YouTube channel. I'm talking about that. I would think YouTube would suggest me against other people that are talking about YouTube advice. No. YouTube never did that. This is something I knew last year when I started it, and my goal was for YouTube to suggest my content in front of other YouTube advice channels. That is what I wanted. And that's partly part of the reason why I stopped doing interviews for a little bit, but I'm like, okay, I know that when I do an interview, YouTube pushes this in front of their audience, not necessarily YouTube advice. I think YouTube was very confused. Even though all of my metadata was perfect, everything I did, the titles, even what we were talking about, all of that was about YouTube growth. But the reality is that the people that were watching those videos were people that were interested in that creator, not always about YouTube itself. And then those creator analysis videos where I actually think they did work and then they didn't. So I'll explain that. I did a video on Angie Hot and Flashy, which I think that one was great because that brought in a lot of my true fans. A lot of people that found me from that video did enroll in my YouTube bootcamp and even did one-on-one coaching. And so I think that video, I did another video on Glam Girl Gabby, same thing. I was always talking about YouTube, but then when I saw some of the other videos I did one on Sierra Solti, I did one on Raw Beauty Christie, I did one on Eleanor Neal, true crime YouTuber, I did one on the Ace family. When I saw those videos and the analytics for those videos, YouTube was pushing that video against people that watch that creator's content. It was never associated with or categorized as YouTube advice or creator advice or anything like that, even though I tried really hard to keep it focused on that. And then I did a Susan Yara video. It was about how her YouTube channel ultimately allowed her to become a multi-millionaire. Same thing with Cassie Ho. But those videos just did not seem to bring that true fan that I was looking to attract. And as we all know, it's not about getting the most amount of views. It's about getting the most amount of views within your niche. And that just wasn't happening. So when I did these YouTube advice videos, YouTube would push it out to my audience and they just wouldn't click on it because it was a combination of people that weren't necessarily all there for YouTube advice. I think people like the interviews. I think people like learning a little bit behind the scenes, but they're not all YouTube creators. That's what I noticed in my YouTube analytics. YouTube wasn't suggesting my videos next to other YouTube advice channels. In fact, like never. Instead, my videos were actually being suggested next to commentary videos, drama videos, videos about the creators that I was analyzing. I think over time, YouTube categorized me as commentary, definitely not as YouTube growth channel. And it does make sense when you think about it in retrospect. And every time I did an interview, that guest's audience would show up. So all of that basically confused YouTube. YouTube didn't know who I was, and because of that, my videos were not getting in front of the people that I wanted to serve. But the videos that tended to perform really, really well, I don't think they were the right viewers. The people watching weren't always interested in YouTube strategy. They were kind of interested in the drama. And of course, because I wanted the videos to perform well, I leaned a little bit into the drama to get the clicks, and it worked, but then it wasn't the right people. And then YouTube was like, oh, you're a drama channel. And so you can even see me as a strategist. I do this for people all the time. And even for me, I'm like, all right, this isn't working. I know enough to know that the numbers here, what I'm seeing, it's not working. It's not gonna work. Editing Erika here. So as I was editing the video, I realized there's a couple things that I didn't say that I forgot to say that I want to make sure that I include here. As I mentioned earlier, establishing my personal brand and creating a strong personal brand is definitely one of my motivators of wanting to continue to be on YouTube and grow a YouTube channel. But a big reason also is attracting my true fan, attracting my avatar, the woman that I can help with YouTube. And I realized that with that type of niche, my goal isn't to go viral. My goal isn't to get a ton of views. In fact, I don't want to go viral because what happens often, and I see this with a lot of the channels I work with, is that you don't always get your targeted audience. It can at times impact your analytics if those people that you're attracting really are not aligned with you or the content that you're creating. I want to be very, very intentional with who I'm attracting to this channel. While I can't control who subscribes, my hope is that by being very clear, very consistent, and very intentional with the content I create and who I'm creating it for, that I will be attracting those people. So it's not about getting hundreds of thousands or even thousands of views. It's really about attracting the right people. And I understand that for me, that is a smaller pool of people. It is very specific to people that are looking to grow on YouTube, and specifically women. My demographic isn't as large as, say, some of the other types of niches out there, but it is very specific, and it is for the purpose of establishing my personal brand and being known amongst that community. And then of course, that converting people into my programs and boot camps and courses and coaching. So ultimately, when I'm looking at the analytics, when I'm looking at the comments, when I'm looking at the other channels that this channel is being suggested against, I want it to be within that YouTube advice community. And that's really my goal. It's not about tons and tons of views. It's not about tons and tons of subscribers. It is about the right viewers and the right subscribers. I know for a lot of you that are business owners that have a very specific niche like I do, that really is the goal, and that should be the goal. You want to go viral in your niche, in your community. You want to be known in your community. YouTube can make a huge impact on your business without a ton of subscribers, without hundreds of thousands of views. And ultimately, that's my goal. So I've decided to start this new channel and have 2 YouTube channels. And this is also partly an experiment. I know that my roots are in my podcast and they're in that show that I do. And I love that. I love interviewing people. Even if YouTube itself is a little bit confused sometimes on who my audience is, I still get a lot of value in having that podcast and those interviews for several reasons. One is I personally love it. I really enjoy it. It's great for networking. I get to meet so many people. Some of my best friends today are because of that podcast. So many people turn into clients. They turn into bootcamp students. They refer me business. And so it is a great networking tool. That's not really what I set out to do with it, but it actually has. One of my closest friends, Kimberly, I was the bridesmaids of her wedding. We met when I interviewed her for my podcast. I have many friends like that. And so I love that community that I built there. And I know that a lot of you love those interviews because I get told all the time that, oh my gosh, because of that podcast, you're the reason I started my channel. There wasn't anything out there like that. I do feel a lot of pride in being one of the first. I don't think there was anybody else doing interviews, especially for women specifically on YouTube. And I take a lot of pride in that. And I think people really like that and respect that. And it has impacted and helped so many people. And if that's you, please tell me in the comments. If you're somebody who knew me from way back when I first started the podcast, at the time it was Beauty and the Vlog, I want to know if the podcast has helped you. I know for me, I get those comments and DMs and messages, or people that join my bootcamp eventually be like, I've been listening to you for years. There's a lot of legacy with that show that I'm really proud of and that I still want to be a part of. I still want to do. And it is good for business too. I get the opportunity to interview some of my own clients and students, which is really great for business, which helps people to see how I work with people, the relationship I have with my clients, how I approach things, and that's great. So there's so much value in that. And now with this new collaboration feature, which make sure you subscribe here because I have a video all on that new collaboration feature. It's really cool. I wish it was there when I first started my podcast, but it's super cool the way that YouTube has organically set it up so that any type of collaboration video you do is going to be pushed out to the person that you're collaborating with. They have to accept it, but it's a really cool thing. And I've already tested out with a few of the interviews and I'm loving that as well. And podcasting is having its moment on YouTube. If you can see here, there's a whole studio set up here and this is where I film and I have a podcasting studio here. I've even invested in that podcast and having an in-person podcast interview, which I would love to have people local or in LA or Southern California to interview, but I still want to interview people all over the world too, but that's just an option. So I believe in the podcast. I love it, but I do believe that trying to combine the interviews with other types of videos, which I already explained why I want to do that, to get more of myself out there, it doesn't work. That's the reason. To go even further here and add even more color, this is a heart of why I made this decision to launch a new channel. Because of the hundreds and hundreds of interviews I've done over the years and some of those newer creator analysis videos, my existing channel was just not optimized for the goal of attracting my specific avatar. And when I would put up my YouTube advice videos, they just would not get traction the same way I would see my other videos get traction. If I wanted to get that type of audience on my legacy channel, that's what I'm calling it, my legacy channel, I would need to pivot hard. And I have worked with other creators in helping them pivot their existing channels. And we've done it very successfully. But what needs to happen is that you have to lean fully into that new content, which means not creating any more videos that could at all ruin the integrity of what you're trying to do or muddy the waters. And what often helps as well is privating or enlisting any existing videos that are currently getting views. So in order for that channel to work the way I wanted it to hit the algorithm that attracted my true fan, to have YouTube understand who my intended viewer was, I would no longer be able to do the interviews anymore. And also privating all the existing videos I had on my channel. I instinctively knew when I came back a year ago that that is what was needed to get done. And that's why part of me considered doing that. But it did take me a year to realize that no, I did not want to do that, that I still really found a lot of value in creating those interviews, as I just explained. So I wanted to continue doing that. But if I really, really wanted to give my channel a shot at being in that YouTube advice niche and YouTube really understanding who my intended viewer was, I would have had to do that. And I decided no, I didn't want to. And that's what led me to the decision of ultimately launching a new YouTube channel and starting from scratch. And that's why I now have 2 channels. I realized with the other channel, I am going to attract people that might not necessarily want to start a YouTube channel or have a YouTube channel or be interested in growing it. And they're just interested in the creator. They might be on Instagram or they might have an online business, but they are interested in just what the world looks like with YouTubers. I realized that with that show. And it's great. That show has been amazing. It brought me to where I am today. And I'm a very, very loyal person. And I'm very loyal to my YouTube Power Hour podcast and my listeners there. But I do want to have a place where it really is just for women who want to use YouTube to grow their business, who want to use YouTube as a top of funnel, who want to use YouTube to make money. That is what I want this channel to be for. And if that is you, then subscribe. If that is not you, do not subscribe. Please do not subscribe. You can hang out every now and then, but don't subscribe. That is what I want. I want this to really be for women creatives, for women entrepreneurs, for women that are looking for their next 7-figure year and they know YouTube is a place for that. For women, for professionals that are wanting to share their expertise and use YouTube as a lead gen. For women in the fashion, beauty, lifestyle spaces. I see you. I work with a lot of you. And I do feel like that is something that makes me a little bit unique because not a lot of people work with those types of channels, and I do, and I know that world inside and out, which actually really helps me and helps my clients that are more in the helper niche, which is like professionals, business owners, entrepreneurs. I want this channel to be for you. So if you're a woman, business owner, an entrepreneur, you have a service, you have some kind of a product, you want YouTube to be that lead gen, then this channel is for you. If you're a woman that wants to use YouTube as your income stream through affiliates, through brand deals, through AdSense, and you have commentary channels, and you have beauty, fashion, lifestyle, fitness, wellness channels, then this space is for you. I am here to dedicate my content to women of all niches, of all backgrounds. But the one thing that we all have in common is that we're high achieving. We believe in YouTube. We're not satisfied with the status quo because we want to get our name out there, our face out there, and we want to make money. Okay, that is who I want here on this channel. So if that's you, let me know in the comments. Throw a emoji with the heart eyes and let me know that's you. That's what's happening here. And the other thing that I promised you is I'm really going to do my best. And this is something that I struggle a little bit with, really being open and honest and vulnerable and sharing the highs and the lows. And now with this channel starting from scratch, I want to take you along that journey. Is this a good decision? Is this not? Am I going to change my mind? Am I going to say, hey, I'm just going to stick with the podcast? All of those are possibilities. One thing I'll be honest that I'm a little bit worried about is being able to sustain 2 channels. So I'm being honest with that. Running a full-time business, having 3 kids, do I have rose-colored glasses on right now? Am I just excited about it and then I'm going to change my mind? I don't know. And this is another reason why I feel good about the decision of keeping that channel just the podcast, because I don't think I'm ever going to stray from that. I love doing that. I enjoy doing that. And I think I'll always do that. It's going to be there. And if I need to take a break from that, great, I'll take a break. But it's always going to be there. Kind of same thing here. We'll see what happens. Right now, I'm uploading multiple times a week. I want to get this channel going. I want to experiment. I want to try different things on this channel, but all geared towards my true fan, which is you watching this. I think it is, hopefully. But there might be a period of time where I don't upload here for a month. But I'll tell you why. And that's what I really want to be committed to, is really sharing the ins and outs of this journey on this channel. On top of me sharing the behind the scenes of what I'm experiencing with all the other channels that I produce and all the women that I coach. Here's the thing as well. I'm really, really proud of the business that I have and the work that I do. And I am a true channel producer and strategist. My experience that I have giving advice about YouTube is rooted in thousands upon thousands of hours doing the work, being in the weeds, working directly with creators. And I'm not a YouTube expert that creates content 80% of the time, 90% of the time, and then moonlights as a coach or producer. And no shame or hate there. There are a lot of really smart people on YouTube that spend 80% of their time creating the content, and they're really good at it, and they give really good advice, but that's just not who I am and what my path was. My priority will always be my business first, channel production, coaching, and that is what I spend 90% of my time doing. So if anything does have to go, it would be the content, and that's what has happened over the years. While I place a lot of value and importance in having content, which is why I have my YouTube channel, which is why I keep coming back, I also have a very full life with 3 kids, a very busy full-time business, and I just have to be realistic with what I can and can't do at certain periods of time. There are seasons where I can lean a little bit more heavily into the content, and there'll be others where I won't. But I will always be a coach and producer first. I'm okay with that, and that's why I might not be fully consistent on both of these channels. So I'm just putting that out there. My plan is to hopefully be as consistent as possible, but given everything I just shared with you, there is a chance there might be periods that are not. But like I said, I am going to use this channel as a place to really open up and share with you what's going on behind the scenes in my own business. And then also, most importantly, all the patterns and trends and things that I'm seeing amongst my clients, which what makes channels grow and how I'm growing channels behind the scenes. And that's it. I hope you enjoy this. You got something out of it. Here's to a new chapter to this channel. I actually don't know yet, as I'm filming this, what I'm going to name it, but I'm sure there'll be a name. Until next time, keep shining, keep creating, and most importantly, keep being you. And make sure you watch this video right here because there's a lot of good information in it for you. And if you made it all the way to the end, and you're a woman who's growing a YouTube channel or wants to grow a YouTube channel, then make sure you subscribe. Mwah.